Thank you. You're very kind. I guess I better begin at the beginning and tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, my home has been in Hollywood for the last 7 years since I got out of the Army, and I moved to New York, like many actors who cannot find work in films anymore. You know how it is in Hollywood? One day you're putting your footprints in cement, the next day you're back mixing it. I think you remember how it goes. I'll tell you something about what happened in Hollywood. There's so many foreign pictures being made today. Like right now in New York City, here are the titles that are showing: La Tuco, Bellissima, Loran, Rashomon, Kontiki. It's very confusing. I stood in line for an hour the other night, and when I got in, it turned out to be an Italian restaurant. I thought they were showing La Pizza. But, see, what else about myself? Well, I'm married. I'm very happily married. I got a lovely wife. I was married in Hollywood. It's quite a romance we had. It was quite... You might want to hear about it. I'll tell you, my wife, the first time she saw me, I was on the screen. And she opened the window and let me in. Now we have a little baby girl. She's 4.5 years old. Her name is Randy. You ever see a father carry pictures around of their child? You know, whole albums they whip out, you mention the child. I don't have an album. I have a picture. You want to see my baby? You want to see it? She's lovely. She's engaged. She eats mud pies, this child. I don't know how it is. I don't know how it is. She's here tonight. You know how it is? At every house, you buy a little sandbox for a child to dig tunnels in. Mother, put your hand over her mouth right now. So anyhow, you buy this little thing, you see, and you want them to play in it. But my baby isn't happy with playing in tunnels. Suddenly, my baby is a big cook. She's Aunt Jemima. She brings, he says, Papa, they're very good, and they're donuts and pies. Well, what do? I do what you do. You take the pie and you nibble a little bit, and you let the sand fall down. That's what you do. But over a period of a summer, you eat an awful lot of sand. And I remember I went to a doctor the other day for an x-ray, and he said, Mr. Paar, says, your heart and lungs look great. And incidentally, you have the most beautiful beach I have ever seen. Another thing about Randy, she knows that vaguely I'm in show business. And when she sees Gene Autry on television, you know, I say, I know him, which I do. She says, call him up and have him come play with me. Well, that's true of Jackie Gleason, Ed Sullivan. She loves everybody, and I should have them come and play with her. You can't tell a child that, you see. So what I do is I just dial any number and just talk, you see. My point in telling you this long story is that if anyone should ever call you and say, is Peter Rabbit there? Don't hang up, it's me. So I've had many ups and downs in show business, and one thing I've learned, this philosophy that I've learned these many years, is this, and I want to pass it on to you. Poor people are happier than rich people. And it's the rich people who keep saying that. I want you to meet the folks in my little show. First of all, I'd like you to meet Poopy Campo, please. Poopy, come here. You've heard of sad stories in show business and tragedies and that kind of thing. Those of you who didn't see Strike It Rich, you know about that kind of thing. And anyhow, here's a boy with one of the saddest stories in all of show business. This could be the biggest thing in television today, except for one little thing. A tragedy kept him from becoming the #1 thing in television today. Tell him, what was that one thing that kept you off the top?
I didn't marry Lucille Ball.
See, things are tough all over, Poopy. That's how it goes. I can see the show now. I Love Poopy. It would have been great, I know. Betty Clooney, come here, dear. We auditioned an awful lot of vocalists, and this is the one we chose. She's just wonderful.
Thank you, Jim.
The name Clooney, of course, is very famous in show business. And she's a sister of a very famous singer, right?
That's right, Jack.
And how is your brother, John Charles Clooney? I want you to... Betty Ferrer, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Then, here's... This is my boy. This is Clark Dennis I was telling you about. Got a new hit recording called Granada that's just wonderful. This is the
Thank
guy
you.
that was overseas. We were overseas together. We landed on Guadalcanal, didn't we, in
We sure
43?
did.
And how long were you over, Clark?
I was over there for 2 years.
2 years. I was over 26. I was over so long I ended up writing my wife, Dear Friend. And you went up to the Philippines, didn't you?
That's right.
And I went back. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to think we were heroes. Both Clark and myself were so far back of the Japanese lines, we were afraid of being bombed by the Nazis. But we'll hear from you later, Clark.
All right, wonderful.
Let's get the show on the highway now. Here's our Betty Clooney singing a wonderful song called Deed I Do. Betty?
Do I love you? Oh my, do I, honey? Indeed I do. Do I need you? Oh my, do I, honey? Indeed I do. I'm glad that I'm the one who found you. That's why I'm always hanging round. You ask me, do I love you? Do I, oh my, do I, honey? Indeed I do. I'm glad that I'm the one who found you. That is why I'm always hanging round. Do I love you? Do I, oh my, do I, honey? Indeed I do. Do I love you? Indeed I
I told you, she's just wonderful. Listen, I wanted to talk to you about television for a moment. One thing I've noticed that seems to be very successful today, and that's panel shows. Now, panel shows are 4 people. 3 of them are usually Arlene Francis. And we wanted to do a panel show, but we couldn't afford the 4 chairs tonight. But I like that show where they guess people's professions, you know. Remember that show where they guess your what you do? But you see, it's a trick. I know how to do it. It's a matter of concentration and elimination. And I want to show you the trick that you use if you want to play the game. So Hal Sims will explain how we're going to do this tonight. Hal?
Jack defies anyone to come on this stage, and he will guess their profession. Mr. Paar will put his fingers in his ears so that he will not hear the occupation of our guest. Can you hear me?
No.
Put your fingers in farther.
They're touching now.
Our guest, chosen from the studio audience, is Joe Anthracite, coal miner.
All right, now I'll show you how you do this real fast. This light you're wearing on your helmet, is this used in your work?
Yeah.
Are you a peeping Tom in a drive-in movie?
No.
May I see your hands, please? Are you a dentist?
No.
You have this instrument here. That's a shovel.
Yes.
Are you running for mayor of New York City?
No.
Well, I don't dig this guy at all. What do you do?
I'm a coal miner.
Well, if you're going to wear tricky costumes to throw me off, that's hardly fair. So I don't want to play any more games with you. Thank you and good night. I know a thing I can do very well. Another popular show has secret words. They name a word, a simple household word, common household word. Then if the contestant should stumble onto it in normal conversation, they win a lot of money. And I could do this very well because I have some secret words that I don't think have been used lately. So let's see how this works. Hal?
The secret word tonight is a common, everyday household word. Geltnik Zupendas.
Here's our first contestant, my dear. How are you? Welcome, welcome, and how are you, okay?
Fine, thank you.
And your name, please.
Tangerine purple.
That's a very unusual name. Is it Miss or Mrs.?
I'm married.
Oh, and what was your maiden name?
Geltnik Zufendorf.
The substitute secret word tonight is a simple, ordinary household word. Hammer das Logenfall.
Where do you live, Mrs. Furpo?
In New Jersey.
Oh, that's very nice. You upper or lower New Jersey?
Neither. I live in the new settlement.
Oh, uh-huh.
It's a veterans housing settlement called Hammer das Logenfan.
We changed the secret word tonight to a simple, ordinary household word. Giola 2 phrenology.
What does your husband do?
He's a skin specialist. The medical profession calls it Dudewell Passiphonicist.
Dudewell Passip. You know, I can't even say that word. I couldn't even pronounce it.
It's a simple word, commonly known as dual or two phrenology.
And here's the New York Mirror. Some of those are lucky bucks, I'm sure. Poopy, I saw you out at the Riviera with Frank Sinatra last week, and you were wonderful. And what I want to know is, you're new in this country. Do you like American singers? For instance, do you like Frank Sinatra?
I like him.
You like him. And on our show, do you like Clark Dennis?
I like him.
Betty Clooney?
I like him too.
Betty Clooney's a girl.
That's what I like about him.
Listen, I saw you do all those fancy dances out at the Riviera. Why don't you do one for us tonight? How many dances can you do?
Well, I have to ask my brother. Mandy.
And he clears everything.
Yes.
Well, let's ask Mandy then.
Mandy, ¿qué es lo que bailo yo?
Tú bailas rumba,
Rumba.
mambo,
Mambo.
samba,
Samba.
conga,
Conga.
jitterbug,
Jitterbug.
ballet.
Ballet. Ballet.
Sí, yo bailaba ballet en la escuela allá en Cuba.
Como ya que bailar que yo, me había bailado ballet en ningún lado. ¿Cómo decir que yo bailaba ballet?
Yo sé que tú bailabas, mi papá me lo dijo cuando eres chiquitico, tú
Papá no te
bailabas
puede
ballet.
decir nada porque yo no bailaba ballet en mi vida, man. Me va a decir antes, me está tomando aquí, está mirando
Yo
todo el mundo
sé que
aquí.
papá me
En mi
dijo
vida
que
yo,
bailaba.
ballet, nunca he bailado ballet.
Yo sé que tú bailabas ballet cuando eres
No
chiquito.
me digas que no, porque yo sé que no en mi vida lo he hecho, man.
Pero papá me lo
No
dijo.
me digas que no, yo no bailaba ballet nunca. ¿Cómo vas a decir que no bailaba ballet? No me digas nada, que no bailaba ballet. ¿Estás loco?
Ballet?
I like him too.
Listen, I want you to do one of your dances tonight. Let's pick somebody from the studio audience.
I would love to dance. Maybe someone.
Anyone for La Rumba, La
Like the
Conga, La
one with me.
Samba,
I
La
think we have a
Mamba?
lady
Anybody?
right here that
Senora,
thinks she could do it.
Senorita?
Will you come up, please, here and dance
Would you-
with me? Please, only takes about
Don't back
2
out
seconds.
now.
Don't worry about it. Just follow me. This other way
The
over
stairs
there.
are best, honey, unless you
Right
can
there.
fly.
That's all.
Come on out. Time is fleeting, as they say. On
How
the
about a
ten-
nice round of applause? Let's give her a nice round.
Wow, and how? What is your name?
Grace Beadham.
Grace Beadham? This is Poopy Campo.
How do you do, Grace? Grace Bidden?
Beadham.
Oh, Bitten.
Beadham.
Beating.
Don't,
How do you do, Grace?
Don't try too hard. Just beat him and you go, boy. Go. Go.
Grace, what would you like to dance? I tell you what, I have medium, rare, and well done. The tempo. What tempo would you like to have? Well done?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you follow me. Vamos. 1, 2, go.
Your youngster will love it, huh? You must be jelly because jam don't shake like that. Thank you very much. You probably wonder why I've asked you to gather here tonight, and you don't realize that there are only 72 shopping days till Christmas. Did you know that? And I have been shopping for you and looking in little byways, little out of the run-of-the-mill shopping places to buy little prizes and gifts for you as suggestions, as Christmas suggestions, and I hope that you'll take these hints. I have things that you've never heard of before, and I think that you'll enjoy these little suggestions I have. First of all, if you have somebody who reads a lot in your family, like a husband who reads a great deal, but he has difficulty in turning pages, here we have something brand new on the market this year. It's a jar of wet thumbs. They're very handy. Abercrombie & Fitch has this in a set. Then we have the new perfume for women. This is quite exotic. This is called, it's so dangerous, as a matter of fact, you should only wear it when you're alone. And even then, you might turn on yourself. It's called Nothing. And girls, if you want to be a smash tonight, when you go out, wear nothing. Here's something brand new on the market. It's something new. It's called a toothbrush. It's a tooth on a stick for cleaning brushes. Then, now for the little children. We have something for kids who like to play rough, you know, real rough. This is the Little David slingshot. This has a telescopic sight for zeroing in mailmen, milkmen. It has a night light for night attacks. You can capture your whole family and keep them down the basement for weeks with this thing. It doesn't fire stones. It shoots small 22 caliber bricks, this here thing. But watch out for the recoil, of course. It's very, very dangerous there. Then we have, you know little children who can't mark up a wall very high when you're 2 years old, 3 years old? How far can you mark up a wall? This high? Very frustrating to the child. Very frustrating. Here's something new that I have. This is called the Adler Elevator Troublemaker. It's a rubber life-size hand that comes with small jars of mud, jam, and tar. You can do a wonderful job on a ceiling with this here thing. You ask for that. Now, if it's a matter of economy and you want something inexpensive, then I suggest you watch the television channels, the smaller channels, because you can get wonderful buys. They have a rebuilt vacuum cleaner the other night that I sent for. This one is really rebuilt. $2.47 for this rebuilt vacuum cleaner. May I show it to you? This is a beautiful... Plaza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in New Jersey, Bigelow, 1, 2, 4, 6, 7. You call, you see, and you get that. Oh, here's something for kids that kids will love. These are called noise pills. Something never on the market before. Now, here's how you do it, kids. You kids listen to this. When Dad's at breakfast and he's reading the paper and won't give you any attention, then all you do is say, "Hey, Pop, do you want to hear something?" And he'll say, "Uh-huh," because all Pops say, "Uh-huh." At that moment, you pour a little bit of this powder and pill into the glass. And you say, "Listen, Pop," and you go like this. Listen to it fit. That'll make your father's hair turn white. Well, that's Christmas shopping. Oh, one thing I recommend for Christmas is a Clark Dennis recording. And here's a beautiful tune from Knickerbocker Holiday. Clark Dennis singing September Song.
When I was a young man courting the girls, I played me a waiting game. If a maid refused me with tossing curls, I let the old earth take a couple of whirls, while I plied her with tears in lieu of pearls. And as time went around, she came my way. As time went around, she came. For it's on and the days grow short. When you reach September, when the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame, one hasn't got time for the waiting game. Oh, the days dwindle down to a precious few. September, November, and these few precious days I'll spend with you. These golden days I'll spend with you.
See, isn't he wonderful? Wonderful. Here's a little department called Advice to America. CBS wanted me to do this. They feel that from my great unemployment and being the father of a 4.5-year-old baby and having a Cocker Spaniel, I am already a big authority on everything. So I am going to answer questions. If you'll send them in, I'll do my best to help you with your problems. How we got letters on our first show, I'll never know, but that's one of the mysteries of television. Betty, my dear, this is our all-girl singer, Betty Clooney. What have you got?
Dear Jack, writes Mrs. Ben Wickman of Cleveland, Ohio. As a parent, I would like some help on 2 problems with my children. We have a great deal of trouble getting our children bathed and into bed quickly. Can you help us? How can you bathe children and get them into bed?
Well, my wife and I have a system. She washes and I wipe. That's how the thing turns out.
There's a little more here, too, Jack. Secondly, we are having a birthday party next week. Have you any advice to parents on a children's birthday party?
Oh, indeed I do. You like that
I
reading,
like
do you?
it, I do.
Well, I know a lot about birthday parties, and the best thing to do, as you all know about a birthday party, is this. As soon as the children all get there, you say there'll be a wonderful prize for the first one that goes home.
All right, I'll put it away.
Clark?
Mrs. Friesking writes, Dear Jack, I have just moved to Brooklyn from a farm in Ohio. I am frightened of the traffic in Brooklyn after my peaceful life on the farm. What I really want to know, Mr. Paar, is will I get an electric shock if I should put my foot on a streetcar track?
Oh, no, my dear. Mrs. Friesking, is it?
Yes.
Yes, you will not get a shock if you put your foot on the streetcar track, not unless you throw your other foot up over the trolley wire. May throw your hip out of joint. Don't do it. Poopy. This should be very interesting.
Dear Jack, resulta que los muchachos me escribieron por la mañana que se quedó corriendo por la cabeza, que ellos no sabían bien si tenían que tener mucho cuidado porque lo que comían siempre todo le hacía daño. Que por favor, ¿qué es lo que tú crees que si debe ser así? Porque ellos no saben lo que debe pasar. ¿Tú crees que sí?
Well, the answer to that is no.
No me entiendes lo que te quiero decir, Jack. Resulta que los muchachos quieren saber lo que comen. No sé lo que les pasa, les cae mal en el estómago.
Wait, did they have the Taft-Hartley law or not? That is the point. Collective bargaining, they have to have it or it doesn't work, you understand?
No, un momento. Tú no sabes lo que te quiero decir. Lo que tiene la cabeza y el estómago. Resulta que los ojos no ven bien. Ellos quieren saber qué es lo que deben de tomar por la mañana cuando se levantan temprano. Tú no sabes lo que te quiero decir.
Do they have the 40-hour week? That's the whole thing. You must... She knows, he knows. Why don't you... Collective bargaining.
No, Vargas, no. Lo que quieren saber es que los muchachos no saben lo que pueden hacer. No me estés diciendo lo que tienen que hacer, que collective bargaining. Yo no sé lo que tú estás hablando. Yo no sé lo que tú estás diciéndome a mí. Lo que tienen que tener mucho cuidado, porque tienen que resultar que por la mañana quieren saber si se toman la medicina o no.
Well, how many were on base? That's what I want to know.